Welcome back to the Roadshow stage, live on the show floor at the Detroit Auto Show. I'm Tim Stevens, he's Brian Cooley, and joining us now is Robert Davis, Senior Vice President of Mazda North America. Robert, thank you for joining us. You must be pretty excited there at Mazda. You've got a great new car on the roads. The Miata is one of everyone's favorite cars from last year, and it's hard to imagine that not being a pretty big success in the coming summer.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a great launch for us. 26 years in the market, almost 1 million Miatas worldwide. #1 roadster in the world, an all-new car. You know, defying convention, lighter, better, stronger, safer, and a better handling car than we've ever had in the past. So
we have many Miata fanboys and girls on our staff who are very excited, who are going to be fighting for the keys. We have an ND coming that we're going to be testing for a while, and they're all very excited about it.
Yeah, they're great. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. If you love the car in the past, you'll love the car today.
Now, you play in one of the most competitive sectors, I think the most competitive, which is where Mazda 3 slots. You must have 7 viable competitors in that category. Let's use that as a barometer of what makes Mazda Mazda, because that seems to be the toughest market you're in. What does make a Mazda these days?
Well, Brian, it's really all about the feel, and whether it's the feel of the way the car drives or the feel that you interact with the car and the way that the car makes you feel. So it's really driving the car and being part of the car and caring about what the car does to with your life. And it's more than transportation from A to B, because in that segment, there's plenty of those. We can name off a dozen, right? But it's more about the way you want to be seen, the way you want to interact with your car, the way you want to interact with your car brand. And Mazda 3 was a trendsetter in that in 2003 when we launched it, and continues to be today.
So fun to drive is always something you guys promote a lot. And you know, Zoom Zoom was a big part of that for many, many years. You've always had that in your message to us as car buyers. At a reasonable or inexpensive price point where most of your cars fit, how do you do much different than the other guys?
Well, you do it with a combination of things. Fun to drive is certainly one element, but really the connection with the road. The other is Kodo design, designing something that looks different and expresses a lot of emotion. You know, we're people in our business and our company that really want to be the car of an extension of yourself. You're not buying an appliance. It doesn't say Kenmore on it. You want it, you really want it to be something that expresses your own opinion. And then SkyActiv technology. SkyActiv technology developed to take safety, fuel economy, performance, all the things, the environment, all the things that we hold important, and develop it to the next level. You know, 7 years ago, people in your business were saying, "Where's your hybrid, Robert? Where's your hybrid? Where's your hybrid?" We're been the #1 fuel economy leader at EPA 3 years in a row with no hybrids. So it just tells you that there's still a lot of base technology left to develop before you get to electrification, before you go to the fuel cell. Get the base technology refined as good as you can get it.
And it's interesting because SkyActiv is one of those things, to be honest, the name tells you nothing about what it does. So it's not like it's a hybrid or it's a 4-cylinder, it's SkyActiv. Okay, what is that? Most users aren't going to dig into the 3 or 4 components that make that efficiency bundle. You just get to the bottom line, right, and deliver the MPG.
Well, the funny story about SkyActiv, the name SkyActiv as a marketing term came about with the challenge of the engineering challenge. SkyActiv came from us telling the engineering group, hey, listen, the sky is the limit. Don't hold back on your traditional conflicts in your own mind, and set yourself free. Like the concept that you can't have good fuel economy with good performance. And we know now with a lot of Mazda cars, even some competitor cars like the C7 Corvette, that you can do both. So don't let yourself be limited.
We've certainly seen that with the new MX-5. It's gotten smaller, but it's still got a great performance. Is that getting to be more of a challenge with all the safety features that people expect these days with airbags and crumple zones and all the sort of things that everyone comes to expect in a car of that size?
Yeah, Tim, I mean, it's never easy, but we like the Miata, and you can call it Miata.
Okay.
It's okay.
I'm
you don't
trying
have to call it
get used to
MX-5.
I'm still struggling.
It's a bad old habit.
Right.
Mine too.
So it's always going to be a challenge, but everything in our business is a challenge now. But we've got to defy convention and execute at a different level. So Miata is safer and lighter. You know, it's got less power, but the horsepower feels higher because it's lighter. It's easier to use, it's better, it's more comfortable, it's got more features, So you've got to continue to challenge yourself over and over again to develop that kind of car, because there's no real bad cars in today's environment.
Yeah, interesting point. There aren't a lot of bad. We get that question a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's harder and harder to say, here's what you should steer away from. There's almost nothing.
In some ways, it's easier to buy a car these days because you can't go wrong. In other ways, it's a lot harder because it's harder to find a negative. But I know there are, as great as the new MX-5 Miata is now, there are a lot of people who want a little more on the power front. Is that something that we've seen the Mazda Speed Editions in the past? Is that a safe expectation?
No, I can't talk to you guys about that. You know that.
We're all
not
friends
talking
here.
about
It's
future
cool.
product. It's, but I think everybody will be pleased with where the Miata is going, and it's got a good long-term future for us.
I'm always trying to get at the essence of a car and its and the company behind them. I think buyers are always interested in that. You've been at Mazda 25 years. You map almost completely back to the MX-5 era. As a result, people in this industry move around all the time usually. Why have you stayed at Mazda, and what does that tell us about the cars and the company?
Well, I've always been really passionate about cars. I was in that environment growing up. And when I came to Mazda, I saw a lot of people, both in the US and in Japan, that shared a lot of the same interests I did, and built cars with passion and did things that, quite honestly, sometimes didn't make business sense. If you go back and look at the first Miata, from a business standpoint, it didn't make sense. And with passion, they went and executed it anyway. And then as I dug into the company and saw RX-7 and Cosmo and different cars over the history of the company, it really struck a chord with me. On a personal basis, Mazda's given me opportunities to do things and see things that I never imagined. I'm a finance guy. I ran Mazda R&D and Mazda Design in the US. Sales and marketing today, customer service. So there's been a lot of aspects of Mazda that I see in myself. And it's really about being a student and understanding and always being willing to learn about our business and having that passion every day to get up and go do it. And I think it really comes from Mazda's home base in Japan is in Hiroshima, not in Tokyo.
Yeah.
And we obviously know what happened in Hiroshima in 1945. But the challenging spirit of coming back after that, not letting that get you down, not allowing that to mark your existence, but overcoming it and challenging it. In less than 6 months, Mazda, after the atomic bomb, was building cars again, or trucks, utility trucks. It's an amazing, amazing story about a people in a part of the country that faced incredible odds. And I think that spirit still comes through today.